Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career, with a little self-help along the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people. It's Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. I'm joined by a special guest. Everyone's a special guest. I'm joined by the good brother, Jeremiah Brooks. Now, if you're familiar, you follow, I work at George Mason University. I guess can't say my employer. You see me on LinkedIn, and I work at George Mason, and I've connected with this young man because of the particular initiatives he's doing for black males here at Mason. And if you know who I am or know what I look like, I am a black male surprise. And so we wanted to have a discussion about that. What can we do to support black male students and what their experiences are, and, our experiences as black male students, how that's influenced us to give back. But before I get into this episode, Jeremiah, give the listeners a little bit of who you are, a little background.
So yes, my name is Jeremiah Brooks. I'm from Springfield, Virginia. I'm 24 years old. And I'm a black man. I define myself as a successful black man and still growing and becoming that successful black man. I went to undergrad at two colleges. The first school was Wheeling Jesuit University. I was there from 2016 to 2019. And in 2019, I transferred to Virginia State University and graduated in 2021. And now I'm at George Mason. I'm one of the graduate assistants for the Black Male Success Initiative. And I am getting my master's in public policy with a concentration in science technology policy.
All right, I love it. So you're a native of the area. Take us back, man. You said two colleges. Take us back to your college journey. You said two colleges.
My first college, Wheeling Jesuit University, is in Wheeling, West Virginia. Why West Virginia, you ask? I was chasing a dream, a basketball dream. One of my favorite mentors and a leader that I looked up to went to the school and was successful at basketball there, and I wanted to follow in those footsteps. And so I walked on to the team, and I got into the school, and that's basically the gist of it. Once I got there, though, I was not academically inclined to do the schoolwork per se.
Yeah.
I actually ended up my first semester with a 1.7 GPA, which left me academically ineligible, and my basketball dreams were shattered. But in the gist of it, I had to realize that life was more about just basketball. I really had to figure out who I was going to be, who am I going to be, and where do I go from here? What is life like outside of basketball? They try to prepare you throughout your adolescence years of telling you, oh, there's other things besides basketball. What are you going to do? And I've heard those questions before, but I was never able to answer them. And it wasn't until life hit me smack dab in the middle of the face, was just like, now what are you going to do? Was when I actually started to answer those questions and pretty much invest into myself and into my future of what Jeremiah Brooks is going to be like in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Who am I going to be? Who am I going to surround myself with? And how am I going to approach life? So I brought the intensity that I took in basketball and put it into my personal life and into my career goals.
That's crazy. Well, first of all, I know you're super intelligent. 1.7 is not reflective. What was you doing, man? You was partying in West Virginia. What was you doing up there, man?
WU is a nice place to be.
Okay, it was close to WVU?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, okay, enough said. Done deal. Okay, I know about WVU. Okay, so you was up there. Now, when you became academically ineligible and you started having this, I guess come to Jesus moment, what was your thoughts? Like, did you have to come back home for a semester? Did you do it while at school and go to the career center? What was that exploration phase for you at that time?
A couple things. One, I was blessed that my mom was able to pay for my college for those 3 years. And that helped me not have to drop out of school. Okay. Because after I got the 1.7, I lost all my scholarships for the school. And there was really no financial aid available for me to go to school. Another thing that helped me was I had a teacher Oh my goodness, her name slips my mind, but she's a wonderful lady. She saw the brilliance in me before I could see it in myself, and she really pushed me to not settle and not settle for mediocrity. She really pushed me to learn how to consume information, make it my own, and then use it out in the real world. And that helped me in life and just understanding and reflecting on my experiences. Reflecting on what did I do, how can I do better, and also the people around me. I was able to make that a contagious habit as well. How did we handle the situation? What could we have done better, and what will we do better the next time when this situation arises?
So you're doing that. What led to your decision to transfer?
My school was actually losing money.
The actual school.
The actual school.
Oh man!
So the diocese in the area, one of the priests was he was stealing money from the school. He stole like $12 million, and so the school was bankrupt.
Wait, what? Like, oh my goodness! Hold up. So you said a priest was stealing money?
Mm-hmm. He was giving lavish gifts to.
Lavish.
Yeah, right.
Lavish.
So,
oh my goodness!
I ended up leaving the school, and my mom actually wanted me to go to Virginia State.
Okay.
At first, and so I was just like, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go. I needed somewhere else to go. It's close to home, and the people that I interacted with at Virginia State really reached out to me and let me know that this is a family and we want you to be here. And so it was such an easy transition to get involved on campus, get acclimated to the new school life, and make new friends. I was blessed to find a group of friends at Virginia State who I still am friends with today that were just as crazy as I was about their success. And we stuck together like glue. We hung out every day. It's up to like 2:00 in the morning, solving the world's problems. I think we did it about 100 times. You know, we really got a chance to
the master class.
Exactly,
master class at VSU. So you got there, and then you're surrounding yourself. Did you feel like, well, two things? One, organically, did you see the difference between a PWI and a HBCU that surrounding of Black excellence helped you? And then two, did you feel like this was a complete new start? Like you had a fresh start at a new school?
Mm-hmm. I'll start with the fresh start, completely fresh start, because my GPA had reset. So all the stuff that happened in the past didn't come with me. So I was able to start off, I think like at a 3.5, 3.6 my first semester, and I took off from there.
Yes.
The community and the representation at that school was phenomenal. I had never been around that many Black people before, so learning that there's that many Black people in the world and just in the state of Virginia was just monumental to me. And it gave me the confidence that I needed to be myself, and to also be a better community member. Like I really did a lot of home training while I was at Virginia State on what it meant to be a good friend, a good brother, a good follower, a good mentor, and a good leader. All those fundamental schools helped me get to where I am right now. And Virginia State was like a
incubator?
Yes, thank you. An incubator for me to test all those things out and really find out what it meant to be all those good qualities.
So who was, what was some of those positive influences at VSU that, the clubs, organizations that you got involved in, and how did that contribute to you being successful there?
I was involved off the rip. I was first vice president of the Association of Political Science, and that was out of my department. I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. And then I got into a lot of things, a lot of local politics. I canvassed with then Delegate Aird out of Petersburg, who was very monumental in my political career. She showed me the ropes and showed me what it meant to be a good politician and what it meant to be for your community. I also was in Phi Alpha Delta, which is a pre-law fraternity. And what else did I do? I was in a bunch of community outreach board at Virginia State. And then my senior year, 2020, I became senior class president. I was president of the Association of Political Science. I was a Campus Vote Project fellow. And then I did a fellowship with the Daniels Initiative, which got me into science technology policy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I was
busy.
working.
You was busy.
Yeah.
So you filled in that gap and that stuff. I mean, I could tell like you were really putting a lot into basketball and filling up and now you just pivoted and you put that into like community involvement. Like, do you ever felt like you was overwhelmed doing too much, or you was just like, man, it's the same, just enough speed that fills me in? Like I was used to the speed of life, being busy.
Just enough speed of being busy. I think once I got to this point in my life, I realized how intentional I need to be about my work, and really kind of slow down burnout. I think when I was an undergrad, I was like, burnout, what is that? I can go for days, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that experience helped me know what my limits are, and when I needed help. I think during that time at State, I didn't really need much help. It was really all on me to put the work in and to figure out how it went. Once I got older, I realized there's so many components to an organization or a system. I have to rely on others and to get the job done. I have to collaborate. That's the most important part. Community involvement, community engagement is what success really is. I think that's the best definition of success.
So what made you decide, and we're going to come back because we're going to pull this into what you think about black male success, but what made you decide to continue your pursuits in grad school, and particularly policy stuff?
The 13th Amendment documentary on Netflix by Ava DuVry, and excuse me if I messed up her last name, but that documentary was so powerful because I didn't know the effects of mass incarceration. I knew about Black history, but I did not know how deep that history went into our well-being, our state of mind, our socioeconomic status, our social status, and just how we interact with each other as well. I saw the need to be a leader in that space in order for there to be peace within our community, for there to be more community involvement, and for people my age group to see the importance of local community politics. Some of the things we complain about, or even, I say complain, but get irate about, can be solved on a local level if we're invested in our local politics. Who's your state representative? Who's your state senator? Who's your school board rep? Who's your school board superintendent? All those little things play a part in your local economic status of who gets what resources. And that plays a major part in why I wanted to be in politics. So, yeah.
There it is. So you came to Mason, and what drew you to be like connected and particularly part of the Black Male Student Initiative? Like, off the rip, like you just came here. I know we met before you even got started. I remember having this. I met you at
The Source. I remember
the Force Source. We met there, and then we had a one-on-one appointment for career stuff. And I was like, man, I'm rocking with this dude. I thought he was like 40 years old, man. He's so mature. I was like, what's this grown up doing? Telling me, I was asking him advice. But what drew you? What drew you to be a part of this space or this community at Mason?
I have a passion for Black male success and Black male development, specifically in our youth and also in our adults. And those are two different development stages. The youth, you can really reach at an eye level and really like give the knowledge that you have in order to set them up for success. For adults, it's more collaboration to see the value in themselves. And that goes the same for the youth, but for adults, you're already at a mature state where you already have an idea of what you want to be. I'm just trying to help be that bridge for you to get where you want to be. You know, that's kind of my like delivery per se. But for Black males, I feel like to give some context, I went to the Black Male Success Initiative because I was working at a Mercedes-Benz dealership, and going to school there, I was like, I need something to fill that gap of what it means to be successful. And so I reached out to Phil, was like, can you connect me to anything on campus that's, Black oriented, any group, entity, and so on and so forth. And he connected me to Gary Davis.
Oh, I did it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember I did that.
Yeah, man.
I just remember meeting you. I didn't remember the email.
Honestly, you saved my college career for real. Because I don't know where I would be without this initiative, without something to give my passion to alongside school. Like this gives me joy. Like anytime I'm down in the dumps or anything like that, I come into work and these guys put a smile on my face every single day. They make me laugh. They give me joy, and they make me think and be creative. Like they give me all the attributes that I need to do to be successful. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful community. and it's a two-way street. They give me life, I give them knowledge, and vice versa. It's just a beautiful community, and I think that's what community is all about.
So technically, how does this Black Male Success Initiative, obviously as a grad assistant, how do you believe this prepares you for your career in policy?
I come from a social perspective, so knowing people's, situations, behaviors, what they like and don't like, what's tangible, and just working with people overall is all about politics. And then also in this space, we work to allocate resources for our mentors because we run a mentorship program. Allocating resources is important. Working together, collaborating with other student organizations, other university life services as well. All that stuff is part of politics because all politics is negotiations when it comes down to it. You just have to have your why. You have to have good values, positive values, and just overall just community engagement. Like that's the most important part of politics. So yeah.
So wow. And then policies, obviously putting procedures and things in place that could be systemic, obviously. So by doing that, when you're looking at this macro thing, what do you see are the obstacles to Black male success, particularly with your program? What do you see are the obstacles that have hindered or made success more difficult for Black males here at Mason?
I say representation and focus. Representation is on a macro level. I feel like that's what you see on the outside. The focus on the inside is really minuscule, whatever the word is.
I like that, minuscule. Yeah, I like it.
It's more of a day-to-day interactions of how these Black men or these Black boys see each other, see themselves, how they interact with like social media, how they interact with music and all those other intricate parts of society, and putting values on those things and what that aligns with their success and with their purpose. I think my goal is for them is to push them to find out what their focus is, to find out what their purpose is. And to me, that's success. I've done my job. We have a couple students who are already on track to know what they're going to do, and they already are taking advantage of opportunities while they're here and also going forward. We have one student, Joshua Valentine, who's doing his practical right now in, I believe, Loudoun County. And I'm so proud of him because he took that step and he took that investment on himself. And then he's somebody that's doing social work. And so he's looking to go to grad school after this, maybe in the DMV area, maybe Norfolk State University, which is an HBCU, which, I'm going to promote all day, every day, So stuff like that gives me joy and gives me life because these students are taking the initiative on their success and being proactive. It's very much proactive success.
And you say representation, like, are you just saying in a space like, them being involved in student leaders, you see, a lot more Black females as student leaders, or like maybe you're saying representation as in, when they go out in the working world and, make sure that they're like in those spaces where there's not many Black men. Like, what do you mean by representation?
Both. Heavy on the leadership because, like you said, there's a lot of Black women on this campus that are great leaders and take on leadership positions. The Black males on this campus kind of take a step back. And I don't really know what that's about yet.
I don't know what that's about either. I've seen it. I mean, I'm seeing it in a sense. If you look at all the Black identity groups on campus, eBoards is like, I'll tell you right now, anecdotally, no statistic, about 80% female. Presidents and treasurers of all, like the Black student, BSA, ASA, CSA,
all that, yeah.
Black, BACC, all that. I think it's literally 80% female leadership. And I don't know if it's more so like, I was thinking about this too, in regards to Greek life too, is like, I don't know if there's like so much to go on that it's like over, like you like, I just stay in my lane, go to class, get a job. I don't see the value out of getting involved in extracurriculars. I got no time.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just don't see the benefit of it. Like it's not really going to prepare me for my career. I don't know, but I want to know what that is too. I want to do a random survey or something like.
I was thinking about this the other day because I was having a conversation with one of the mentors, and this is the year or the era of Black women. I feel like the 60s and the 80s were Black men in leadership positions and representation, and in that conversation, Black women were not respected for their leadership. Black women now are more proactive with their leadership, and they're like, enough. It's like enough is enough, but it's like, I'm here and I want to be visible. And I feel like black men, this is a hot take. It's a hot take.
No, man.
It's a hot take.
Yeah,
Are paying for their daddy's sins in the sense of how they've treated women over time. And so, like you said, they're playing their role in the sense of figuring out who they are on a minuscule level to know how to be support systems. Because jumping out the gate, black women are on top right now. That's just what it is. That's just what the climate is.
I can't.
You know?
Think about all the politicians, think about all the people like Stacey Adams. Think about all these leaders.
Yes.
Think about these political leaders. Kamala Harris. I mean, political leaders, these black females are running it. And then I think you're right. Like, when I think about, like, if, as you study history, we look at the women were always involved in the civil rights movement, always involved, always leaders in it. But the front people back then were like, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Carmichael. I can't remember his last name.
Stokely
Carmichael.
Yeah.
The Southern
Huey and all them. Yeah.
All that men. And now I see it like, if you think about the board of the NAACP, the president may be the black male, but the whole board is mostly female.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it is this, paying for your daddy's sins, or more so just strong vocal leadership, or I like the thing you said, we're tired of it, we're going to be in front. I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know.
Exactly. It's a lot going on, and it's still being defined. Because even as black male success is still being defined, black women's success is still being defined as well. And it's still progressing. Because like you said, leaders have been there the whole time, but they weren't at the forefront. For notoriety, and there's a lot of colorism and all that stuff in the mix of that we're now addressing and acknowledging and getting out the way, so we make room for those natural born leaders to be themselves and to be at the forefront.
Make room, get out the way.
Exactly.
I do say that. I heard that stage, like, if you're not going to help, get out the way. So I don't know if black men are getting out the way, in a sense. I don't know.
It's not black. I won't say black men can take the brunt of it, because, society, men overall, there's a lot of double standards in life, And so black men have paid the brunt force of that. And so this time it's like black men are learning how to be support systems. Like, the defining what it means to be a black man is changing. So that support system is changing. Knowing our role is changing. Knowing how to be and when to be vocal is changing. All those things are changing at once, and there's no right way to do it. It's really just trial and error, and really just doing things from the heart.
But I think, on the flip side of representation, though, I think that even in that balance, man, it shouldn't be like 80%. I honestly would like to see more young men, particularly at Mason. When I look at like a flyer, not a flyer, but like a social media graphic of student leadership, I'd like to see a little bit more male leadership, because also I believe that concurrently that male leadership aligns with, career preparation. So, like, if you're president, that's a really good preparation for a real job. So you need to be involved in these extracurriculars in a leadership level, not more, just as much. Maybe, like I said, maybe even.
I agree.
Not 80%, maybe 40, 60.
Yeah, that starts at a young age. I feel like, I don't know, I guess women or young girls are in leadership or develop to be leaders or independent at a young age. I think boys are kind of, I say almost coddled in a way in some areas of their life that make them dependent on somebody, like that's a real thing. And I haven't really got to the nits of that yet.
That's a sociological study. So what is black male success, man? What are we trying to do? What is it?
Black male success can be a lot of things, but of all things, I think it's knowing who you are.
Awareness.
Knowing your role in your community, and that could be at home, in your friend group, at school. Knowing your role and playing to that, and also, knowing your purpose. That's really big, because your purpose determines your values, and your purpose defines who you let around your values. Like, if that makes sense, like you want people around you that will encourage your identity, encourage your dreams, push you to be better, push you to be more almost, push you to be yourself. I think that's very important of knowing what success is. So I say it again, 1, being yourself, 2, being a great community member, and 3, being a leader.
Yeah, so I like that 1, 2, 3. But from that, what I'm hearing about making yourself better, doing it back, I feel like there's a big influence of mentorship in that, right? So when y'all did when y'all do mentorship training, particularly in this program, what are some of the things that you really want to tell the mentor they have responsibility to do? Like, what is the best practices that you'll tell the mentors?
Open, honest transparency. Okay. Because you want one-on-one dialogue between your mentor and your mentee. You want your mentee to be comfortable being vulnerable with you, and vice versa. You want to establish that relationship in order to establish trust. That's the biggest thing. Trust is everything when it comes to relationships. That's pretty much the biggest thing. And also knowing and being honest. We tell our mentors, and we do this by practicing what we preach. If we don't know something, we're going to tell you we don't know. We're going to be honest, like, look, we can figure this out together. And that's something that's encouraging, and it brings people together like, oh, we're in this together. They're not isolating me. I have a community. I have a friend. I have a brother, somebody I can count on. And that's something that we promote in our mentorship program.
I love it. All right, so this is a great episode. I think we might need to do a part 2. So we got a part of our show called Shot for Shot. You want to go first? I'll go first.
You go first.
All right, so I'm a rich donor. And with this rich donorness, I say, hey, Jeremiah, you can start your own school, your own college. So right now, I want you to just brainstorm. 1, what would be the name of your college, but not your name? So it had to be like someone famous or something like that or whatever. The name of the college, would it be a rural or urban college? And what would be the top 3 things you want your university to be known for, like programs? Like, I want this to be the best engineering school or whatever. So that's it. That's kind of a loaded one. But basically, I gave you a lot of money to start your own college.
Yeah. Wow. First thing that comes to mind is W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay.
That would be the name of the college.
Okay.
Because of his research on Black people. Forget the research he did in Philadelphia, what the name is specifically, but he's done so much research on the state of Black people, the well-being of Black people, and also the climate of Black people and where we need to go forward. My focuses would be sociology, psychology, I'm going to say policy, and I'm going to add medical, a hospital. I think that would be huge. I think that's actually one thing I want at Virginia State is a hospital. So we can run our own thing. I think ownership is a big thing. I think ownership is part of capitalism. And to have ownership, you have to have a community. Because once a community feels involved and invested in, they're going to be interactive and proactive in its success.
All right, so where would this, the last one, where would this school be? In the South? Would it be in the South? Would it be in the Midwest? Rural or urban?
I don't know. That's big. Because geography definitely plays a part. Ooh, that's hard.
Would it be at HBCU?
Definitely HBCU.
Okay, so
that's easy.
So let's just already go with the assumption that's either HBCU. It's probably, you got the 3 pockets. They're really not in the West Coast. So you got Midwest, Northeast, or South. Can I tell you my thought?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's have one in Northern Virginia.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
We don't have one.
Yeah.
So in Virginia, we have Norfolk State down near Tidewater. We have one near Richmond.
Yeah.
VSU and Virginia Union.
Right.
Where's the Northern Virginia
We don't
HBCU?
have one up here. Wow.
That'd be the WB. We need $1 billion though.
Listen, if you know somebody, if you are that person.
Mackenzie from that divorced old boy from Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Come on.
Give me some money. I'll start a university. I'm not gonna be a president. I'll be your dean, whatever. Yeah. I'll be the dean of sociology.
Yeah, I'll do something.
I'll just make up something. Give you a role. All right, what's your question for me?
What is Black male success to you? What has been a success for you?
Oh man, you already took the pillar 3 though. I think I'll line it, but I'll copy it. I think I think black male success is a holistic well-being. And so what I mean by that, I'll go through the pillars and what that means, right? So emotionally well, right? Mental health, feeling good about yourself, high self-esteem, positive confidence, all that. That's the emotional well-being, so to be a successful black man. Financial well-being. You don't have to be uber rich, but you ain't in debt. You feel good about your expenses. You can live within your means. You're not starving. You can eat. And also, I think generationally, you can pass on money to the next generation. So you're financially well. So we got emotionally well, financially well, socially or relationship well, right? I think it kind of aligns what you said is building good relationships around you, healthy relationships around you, whether it's a partner, whether it's your children, when you have children, whether it's your community. You feel good about the people that are around you and you have good relationships with them. So I got physical, obviously health, right? You want to, be able to live longer, and I think, so physical and then spiritual. I think the spiritual health, obviously in a sense to if you believe in God or not, but also that ingrained part of purpose. That's a spiritual feeling, right? Like I feel like what I'm doing is contributing to the greater good of the world, that purpose. So emotional, relationship, financial, physical, and spiritual, and a holistic, like you're not going to be perfect or have, everything in those different well-being buckets filled to the 100%, but just one is not blatantly lacking, right? Like you got positive relationships, but your health is trash, all right? Or you're super rich, but you're lonely.
Right.
You want to have different pockets where I feel like you feel like you are successful and well in all those.
I agree.
I think that's black men's success.
Yes, and to add on to that takes time to develop. That is not an overnight thing, and that's a good thing. Because you want to work out the kinks of what it means to be whole, what it means to have a good, healthy well-being, what it means to have good, healthy friendships, relationships. And the biggest thing Phil talked about was self-esteem. Having self-esteem and positive self-esteem in all the areas of your life and working out the kinks of having positive self-esteem. And that goes apart in having healthy relationships, eating well, exercising, being around good people, doing something with a passion at work or outside of work. All that stuff plays a big part in your self-esteem and your well-being. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. We just, TED Talk, Okay, I don't feel like doing that. So, thank you, Jeremiah. This has been great. Kind of closing thoughts. The part of the show is called Shout Outs and Plugs. So you get to shout out and show love to anyone you want to show love to, and plugs. Anyway, things that you're working on or things that you want the listeners, how they can connect with you. So shout outs and plugs.
Yes. Shout out Virginia State University. Hail State all day, every day. I love y'all and I miss y'all. I specifically want to shout out Mr. Lyons, great mentor of mine, Mr. Giles.
Hold up, talking about Joseph Lyons?
Yes, Joseph Lyons.
I was on my podcast, right? Mm-hmm. I know his brother, right?
No.
His brother's an Alpha.
Wow.
And Joseph's a Kappa.
Yeah.
Small world. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
See, black men in higher ed is all connected. So shout out to you, Mr. Lyons. I know him. I didn't know that was going to be your shout out. So small world. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Shout out Dr. B, Dr. Wes Bellamy. Shout out President Abdullah, President of VSU. Shout out all my friends that I've made at VSU as well. Shout out my friends at Wheeling Jesuit University that are still friends of mine to this day. Shout out BMSI. Shout out Philip Wilkerson. Shout out the black male faculty here at George Mason who have made it a home for me to feel comfortable in a space to come in and be myself. And shout out to my family. My family has shown me love and support all of my life, and they've really helped me in this time of adulting. Give me all support and love that I need and acknowledgement of who I am and who I'm trying to be. Shout out to them.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And how can they follow up with you? What you working on? Plugs.
Yes. Mason BMSI is on Instagram. Follow us on there. We also have a website. You can type in the Black Male Success Initiative, GMU, in the search engine, or you can do Mason BMSI, GMU in the search engine as well. I'm not for sure of the specific websites right now. I'm not going to lie. And then another thing that I'm working on or want to get involved in is any local politics stuff. I'm a big person on community engagement. So anytime you want to invite me to a space to talk, just be in a room with Black males or other students that have to do with diversity and inclusion, just reach out to me. My email is Jeremiah Brooks 169. That is JEREMIAH Brooks BROOKS 169 at gmail.com. Send me an email, send me an invitation. I'm open to everything and anything that has to do with diversity, inclusion, success, and equity. So yeah.
No. Well, thank you so much, Jeremiah. It's been great having you on my show. Thank you for all the gems you dropped, and definitely looking forward to future collaborations and supporting your initiatives here at Mason, especially with Black men, because that's very important to me as well. Positive Filter listeners, if you like this episode, please share it with a family member or friend. Give this episode a like or review on Apple or Spotify. That helps elevate the podcast. And if you want to leave a voicemail for the podcast, it's 571-336-6560. That's 571-336-6560. As I said, every episode is dedicated to my father-in-law, Jeff Kirsch. I put in his anti-hunger fund in the show notes. So if you want to support a great cause, consider donating to the Jeff Kirsch Anti-Hunger Fund. And we're out. Keep on being positive, celebrating others, and taking care of each other. All right. Thank you for listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.